Well, speaking of local versus Washington, Spectra Energy has a, I don't know if this has been on your radar or not, it's been very big in Yorktown, which you really wouldn't represent anymore, but it's also come up in Somers and to a lesser extent Mayapack.
Yeah.
There's a pipeline that runs right now, I think from Ohio, from Ohio to Boston, I believe. And it's 26-inch pipeline, and it's been around since the 50s.
Yeah.
So Spectra says, okay, we need to replace this. It's getting old.
Yeah.
And part of this, there's an expanded project.
And it's still in use.
Yes, still in use right now.
And it feeds the Northeast.
Yep,
Yeah.
and it goes right by Indian Point.
Yeah.
I think it might have been in there before Indian Point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Bottom line
Probably.
is, a lot of people, there's a lot of activists and local politicians, town board, etc., in the surrounding towns in northern Westchester that are saying either we don't want this, or we want more study, we want to expand the environmental impact statement. And something that we've come in some frustration, if you will, as reporters and editors, is that a lot of people are getting revved up in our towns and are saying, what is the town board going to do? But it's a federal issue. It's FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission.
Right.
So is that something that you, as a representative of this area, would have any say in?
Sure.
Or is that just something that FERC does and you have to say, well, that's what FERC did? I mean, what is your relationship with an agency like FERC on this issue?
A couple of thoughts for you on FERC.
Okay.
Number one, when I was in the House of Representatives in 2011, I co-sponsored a bill to rein in FERC and every other regulator that takes advantage of the American public.
How so?
Because FERC in particular, we know very well. Let me give you one example outside of the Spectra issue.
Okay.
Talk about that in a second. But energy prices, electricity prices in the Hudson Valley for all too many people here have gone up. They have spiked when people can't afford it. And the reason is because FERC decided that they would increase energy prices in the Hudson Valley. They decided that they would raise energy prices because they have a grand scheme in mind that includes us paying more for energy instead of using existing means to keep our energy prices lower. FERC just said, nope, that's what we're going to do. The bill I sponsored, the RAINS Act, the bill I co-sponsored and voted yes to, would have stopped FERC from doing that. Would have said, you can't do that without answering to the United States Congress, to our representatives. Accountability. Rationality.
Well, it seems that.
And Mr. Maloney voted no to the RAINS Act in 2013. That's outrageous. So what did FERC do? They raised their energy prices. FERC has ridden roughshod over the American public and the public in the Hudson Valley in a lot of ways. I went against FERC when they wanted to, when there was a natural gas compression station that they wanted to plant in the middle of a neighborhood in a town in Orange County, in Minnesink.
Okay.
And folks, they were very upset about it because there was an alternative site that wouldn't have been in a neighborhood that would have been just as good.
So what did you do, or what did you try to do?
Well, we appealed to FERC in their behalf. I went and actually stood with the residents as they had a rally against this siting. We did everything we could. The FERC has to be accountable to our communities.
Does FERC care that a congresswoman, because what can you actually do?
Well, they'd care if they were reined in by something like the RAINS Act, and as a member of Congress.
So if they were acting as a responsible agency, you're saying that they would.
Well, if they were more accountable to the U.S. Congress, if they were more accountable to our representatives, but our representative has to take that action. I did in 2011, very strongly. Our current representative did not.
So you're saying that maybe this, and in fairness, I don't know what Congressman Maloney has or has not done on this, because I spoke to him probably 3 or 4 months ago. We interviewed him, but this has come up since then.
Well, I know he didn't get involved when the folks in Minnesink were crying for help.
So you're saying that this would be...
He was a candidate then, but he could have made a statement. And he didn't
So this would be something that you would, if elected, look into and see what you could or could not do.
Absolutely. We need to have a great, all of the above energy policy that uses our resources intelligently and lets us be a strong country in terms of, obviously, you know, we're very vulnerable to what goes on in the Middle East and other parts of the world if we're not producing our own energy.
Well, to that end, what about the Keystone Pipeline?
Our energy prices are insane. I'm fighting to keep those lower and make sure that we have the energy and the strength that we need.
Keystone.
Oh, Keystone, I support it. I support completely.
But can you do anything? And I'm not you, but the people who do support it, or does it depend on who is in the White House or the Senate? What actually Because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, I'm sure, and I think everyone who's elected, including Sean Patrick Maloney, wants to get done, but you're just one congressman or congresswoman. So, because the Keystone thing has been on, no pun intended, been in the pipeline, it seems,
Yeah.
for a while
For a long
now,
time,
and
ever
it's just,
since, right.
and nothing's happening with it.
The president and the Senate majority have certainly stood against it.
Yeah.
But it needs to be finished. It just makes sense. It's energy from a friend.
Yeah.
It can be refined here or exported from here, from the United
It
States.
seems
It's
like,
US
it seems like
jobs,
it's just waiting to happen.
Right, exactly. No,
Yeah.
it's jobs. It should
So
take
what do
place,
you-
and
what-
they've been very. You know, we do have to be environmentally responsible, and they have been very careful about that project.
Well, it seems to me the pipelines are almost are safer because
Yeah.
there's no carting, there's
Well,
no
that's
trucks,
just it,
there's
exactly.
no one's gonna go into Exxon Valdez, that's not gonna happen.
Exactly. We have cargo freight routes through Orange County in particular in the Hudson Valley. And absolutely, that's all we need is for a spill from one
Right.
of those tanker cars.
Right.
Precisely.
So, why do you think that there is opposition to the Keystone Pipeline?
Well, I think the president has yielded, in particular, you know, and he has the loudest megaphone, and he has yielded to certain groups that just don't want to see it built. But I would submit that, you know, we have to. And I think largely there have been environmental concerns that have been raised. I'm a pro-environment member of Congress, have been. I am a pro-environment candidate. We have to have a balance. You know, we have to have sensible ways of making sure that we have the kind of good, solid energy production we need in an economy that we can sustain, and yes, that we also respect the environment, and we can. So I think those concerns have been appropriately addressed.
Okay.